Breaking news: the new scramble for Africa. China axes tariffs on African goods. America left watching. The world's two largest economies, China and the United States, are racing to win Africa's loyalty. Africa's resources, minerals, oil, fertile land, are the envy of many. Both China and America want a piece of the action. As the world watches, Africa is the battleground for a new kind of war. It's fought with tariffs, trade deals, and investments. And right now, China seems to be pulling ahead with zero tariffs. The choices made today could shape the next generation of African growth and global power. For years, America was Africa's main partner. But, things are changing fast. China, with its massive economy, has launched a bold strategy: make African products cheaper and more attractive in its own markets. How? By slashing tariffs to zero for almost all African countries. This move isn't just about money, it's about friendship, influence, and making sure China stays number one in the race for resources and allies. While America talks tough with tariffs and threats, China is rolling out the red carpet, at least on the surface. So, is China really pushing America out of Africa? Some experts say yes. They argue that zero tariffs mean more African goods in Chinese stores, more jobs in African towns, and stronger ties between Beijing and African capitals. Others warn that it's not that simple. The truth? Africa is at a crossroads. Its leaders must choose between the old partner, America, and a bold, sometimes risky, new friend, China. The world is watching to see who will win Africa's trust and business in this high-stakes game. In late 2023, China made a move that honestly shocked the world. It announced zero tariffs on over 98% of goods from 21 least developed African countries. Everyone except Eswatini, because it still recognizes Taiwan, not Beijing, got the deal. Overnight, African exports like coffee, cocoa, copper, and tea became cheaper in China than ever before. The policy is simple. African countries can now ship their goods to China without paying the taxes that used to make them expensive. That means farmers, miners, and manufacturers in Africa have a better shot at making money in the world's largest market. For countries struggling with poverty, this is a big deal. But it's not just about economics. It's about politics too. By cutting tariffs, China is telling Africa, "We want you on our team." And it's working. African leaders are lining up to make deals, hoping for more investment and better jobs at home. Still, some critics wonder, is this too good to be true? Can Africa really win, or is there a hidden cost down the road? For now, the zero-tariff policy is changing the game and putting serious pressure on America to respond. While China opens its doors, America seems to be building walls. In recent years, the United States has slapped more tariffs on global imports, including some from Africa. The African Growth and Opportunity Act, or AGOA, once a lifeline for African exporters, is now at risk. Congress hasn't promised to renew it, and some African countries have already lost access due to political disputes. AGOA was supposed to help. It allowed many African products, like textiles and certain crops, to enter the United States without tariffs. But with uncertainty over its future, African exporters are nervous. If AGOA expires, thousands of jobs could be lost, and American companies might start looking elsewhere for cheaper goods. America's tough stance on trade is part of a bigger strategy. The United States wants to protect its own industries and compete with China. But critics say these policies could end up pushing Africa closer to Beijing, leaving American businesses out in the cold. The contrast couldn't be clearer. China is offering zero tariffs. America is raising barriers. For African countries, the choice is getting easier, but the long-term risks remain. Zero tariffs sound great on paper, but what do they mean for real people in Africa?
For many, it's a golden opportunity. With taxes gone, African goods can compete on equal footing in Chinese markets. That means more exports, more money flowing back home, and more jobs created in fields, factories, and ports. Take Kenya, for example. Since China dropped tariffs on avocados, exports have soared. Farmers are hiring more workers, and entire communities are benefiting. In Democratic Republic of Congo, cobalt miners are seeing higher demand as China buys up minerals for batteries and electronics.
The impact doesn't stop there. Investments from Chinese companies are building new roads, railways, and factories across Africa. That brings even more jobs and training for local workers. Some countries like Ethiopia and Rwanda are using Chinese partnerships to boost their own manufacturing sectors. It's not all smooth sailing, though. Some fear that relying too much on China could leave African economies exposed if things go wrong. But for now, zero tariffs are shaking up Africa's economy and giving millions of people new hope.
Not all exports are created equal. Some sectors are booming thanks to China's zero-tariff policy. Minerals top the list. The Democratic Republic of Congo is the world's largest cobalt producer, key for electric cars and smartphones. Most cobalt now heads straight to China. Agriculture is another winner. Kenyan avocados, Ethiopian coffee, Ghanaian cocoa. Even South African wine is flying off shelves in Shanghai and Beijing. Manufacturing is also getting a boost, with Chinese companies building factories to process raw materials before export. For many, the benefits are clear: new markets, new jobs, and a chance to escape poverty.
Not everyone is cheering for China's zero-tariff policy. Critics warn that China's help often comes with strings attached. Many African countries have borrowed billions from Chinese banks to build roads, ports and railways. If they can't repay, China could take control of key assets or demand political favors. There's also the issue of exploitation. Some African workers complain about low wages and poor safety at Chinese-owned factories and mines. Environmental groups warn that rapid expansion, especially in mining, could destroy forests, rivers and wildlife. On the American side, critics argue that the United States has failed to offer real alternatives. Instead of investing in African industries, America often just buys raw materials. That means fewer jobs and less value for African countries. So, is China a hero or a villain? The answer depends on who you ask. Some leaders see Beijing as a partner in development. Others worry about becoming too dependent and losing control of their own resources.
Policymakers and analysts are divided. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, head of the World Trade Organization, says that zero tariffs can transform Africa's economies if local governments invest the gains wisely. She warns, though, that debt and dependency risks are real.
Other experts, like US-based analyst John Campbell, worry that America's tough tactics are backfiring. By turning its back on African exporters, the United States risks pushing them straight into China's arms, he says. It's not just about trade, it's about influence.
African voices matter most. South African Trade Minister Ibrahim Patel says, "We want partners, not patrons. We need investment, skills, and fair access to markets." Many in Africa agree. The best deals are those that empower local people, not just foreign companies. So, is it a win-win? Some say yes, pointing to new jobs, roads, and markets. Others say the risks are growing, and Africa must choose its friends carefully, or risk repeating old mistakes.
The debate isn't just academic, it's playing out in real life.
In Kenya, avocado farmers are buying new tractors and sending their kids to better schools, thanks to booming exports to China.
In the Democratic Republic of Congo, miners see more money but worry about safety and pollution.
South African wineries are tasting success in Shanghai, but fear losing ground if the US market disappears. African governments are learning fast. Some are demanding better deals from China, more jobs for locals, cleaner mining practices, and fairer loans. Others are still figuring it out, balancing the offers from Beijing and Washington. What's next? Africa's leaders must make tough choices. Will they put all their eggs in China's basket, or try to keep both America and China as partners? The world is watching, and the stakes couldn't be higher. In the end, the real winners will be those who play smart, using trade to build skills, create jobs, and protect their natural wealth. For Africa, the future is wide open. The question is, who will help shape it, and who will be left behind?